Brad, good to meet you.
You too,
Really
man.
pleased to meet you. Thank you so much for letting us come down and meet you in your kitchen here at obviously
Temporary kitchen as well.
yeah, absolutely temporary. But what a place, eh? I've never seen such a kitchen larder in my life with such beautiful plants and everything else. So very, very interested time to be with you. So what are you going to do for us? What are these dishes and what's inspired you for these sort of dishes today that we're going to cook through?
It's to show off the produce that we use, obviously,
Okay.
and then also highlight the way that we cook them with the products that we've got.
Yep.
First of all, this deer chop. So it's we cut it similar to like a Barnsley.
Okay.
Cut
Yep.
the backbone,
Yep.
saddle, so you get the fillets and the loins, and then we're going to cook it in the Josper. So
Okay.
obviously, direct cooking, straight onto bars, straight above charcoal. Not a lot of colour, to be honest with you, because it's lean meat, it's going to dry out real quick.
Okay.
So we tend to move it quite quickly. A little bit of vine wood to give it a little smoke as well at the end.
Going to give us a little bit of flavour.
And then a little roast, and then some of the garnishes. So where we are is we're in the Vale of Evesham.
Yes.
So it's the most fertile soil in the UK. All of the fruit and veg and the orchards are like some of the best in the UK, and then the best and the oldest in the country. Yeah. So we always highlight how good the veg is. So the veg is going to be as much of the star as the meat. With the celeriacs that are going with it, we cook in the Haranu for a long time.
Okay, so we're using the Invoq to actually cook them off and really bring out that flavour that's in them.
Exactly.
Take the sugars out of them and
bring out all the natural sugar.
looking forward to seeing that.
Some lovage that we grow in the glass house. So
Yep.
in the back of our restaurant, we've got like all of the plants that we grow on site.
Yeah.
Consolidated into one of each. The customers get to go over and try them, see them while we're using them, and obviously
You really can't get much fresher than this, can you? It's amazing, isn't it? It's very, very nice indeed. Yeah, that's great. Wonderful. Looking forward to seeing them.
Thank you.
Great.
First of all, going to cook this deer. Obviously, it's on the bone, so it's going to be a good conductor of heat.
Okay. Does that help keep the flavour in as well?
Yeah,
on the bone? It just makes it, doesn't it?
Any meat on the bone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tastes better. There's a nice bit of bone marrow in there.
I was going to say, right in the centre, we've got something. Yeah.
This is a bit further up, so you get like a real true fillet and a real true loin. That's probably the most select bit.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to, like I said, we're just going to cook it gently on each side.
You've just seasoned that, have you? Just a little bit of oil.
We always salt it in advance.
Yep.
Just because it helps draw out a bit of moisture, and obviously seasons it all the way through, which is the most important thing.
Yep.
I'm just going to move the grill bars down a little, just so a bit more contact.
Bit more direct, yeah?
Yeah, these bars can get quite aggressively hot because of how thick they are.
Yeah.
And with a cut like this being so lean, it can dry it out real quick. So I tend to just put a little guard on top. Just
to elevate it, a little bit like a trivet then, really, yeah?
Yeah, it helps to cook it a little bit more even as well.
Right.
Obviously, cooking with the door shut with the Josper is important as well. It keeps the moisture in the air circulation. Something that I'll do quite a lot.
Yep.
This is a nice little touch as well. We do this quite a lot with the meat. We just drop on a bit of wood just for a bit of smoke as well.
So that's actually a piece of vine?
That's a piece of vine, so grapevine. Normally bigger trimmings off older vines that they need to trim back off the vines anyway to help them to grow. So we'll use that just for flavour and smoke really.
So I take it that's just been aged, dried out for a little bit and then...
Yeah, exactly, just seasoned.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it's been in for that long, but because it's so lean, you really want to keep it moving because there's no fat on a piece of deer to keep it moist.
Yeah.
So if I just let it dry out,
it will just get a thick...
Not really looking for a thick crust like a steak.
No.
It's the most important thing. The rest of it, we've got this amazing salad. So this is what we grow on site.
This looks absolutely amazing in here, doesn't it? So all of these elements grown here, local.
Everything's on site. So crisp green lettuce is grown in our microbes set down the bottom.
Yep.
These are mustard leaves and kales, red vein soles that we're growing inside the restaurant.
Yes, yeah.
And butterfly sole, which is real citrusy. So we don't use any lemons, limes, anything that doesn't grow here, we don't use them. So that's where we find our citrus.
Yeah.
And then we've got like we tend to serve a salad with every meat course, just because it's a really good way of delivering it through the menu.
Yes.
And also with the higher fat meat and richer things, it goes really well.
And so this sort of, even the flavour of that cuts through some of that, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then the vinaigrette is always the thing that the customers talk about the most. And we saturate the leaves in it. And they always dipping in the bottom as well.
I was going to say
that
that
I meant to make a mess as well.
That looks quite interesting, that one as well. Yeah.
The dressing's made from different things, but we will tend to take some of the herbs and the flowers and turn them into vinegars.
Yes.
So preserving all those, when we've got a glut of something, preserving those flavours into the vinegar, and then that'll be the base.
That'll be the base for the vinaigrette. Okay, so lovely. Yeah.
See, we haven't got, because we're shutting with the door as well, we're keeping in a nice amount of the smoke. So all we're getting.
So that's going to really get that smoke flavour into the actual meat product.
Any meat course I ever have on the menu, I always cook it over charcoal.
Yeah.
So that's why the Josper's been
really good for that. Yeah.
But cooking, it's quite primal. Any meat, I tend to go there naturally.
Yeah.
Just because it enhances the flavour and the quality.
Yeah. And this is something I think is quite. It's quite sort of a bit of a trait of your cuisine, really, is that you actually really like to go back to some of the original qualities and values and keeping the meat as it would be.
Like all of our food, really, it's like all ancient techniques and like old-fashioned ways of thinking, but a modern execution.
But modern execution.
That's basically how we do it.
So this is really what sort of created and crafted your career, I suppose, is this where you sort of come from. What actually made you go into cooking? What sort of made you want to go
I didn't really know what I was going to be a chef. I always enjoyed it when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I sort of fell into the kitchen as a kitchen porter. It's at a local pub actually called the Billsley. But
right.
I ended up being a kitchen porter, and then I ended up staying there, and then didn't want to go to college because I was scared of school. I hated school.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be the same. When it was practical, it wasn't the start. I got it done. And then realised I was going to do it for a career, and then I went to live in Spain for 2 years, my first job as a chef.
Okay.
And then after that, came back to Birmingham, and I never left since. I always got jobs to better my weaknesses. So like, I was pretty slow at chopping, so I went to work in a hotel to get quick.
Right.
And I always just thought like that. And then most of my career, I've had my own restaurant for 13 years. So it was always the plan. Obviously, I run it with my wife, Holly, but the plan was to always have my own place.
I mean, what's good for me there is to realise that actually, that with hard work and perseverance and actually a love of something, you can succeed, Brad.
100%.
Yeah.
With anything, you dedicate your life to it. It becomes an obsession. Obviously there's parts where you have to have a little bit of ability, but at the same time, it's like if you've got a focus and a vision and a drive,
absolutely,
and the right equipment.
Well, the right equipment, absolutely. That really does actually help, obviously, doesn't it? So this looks lovely. So you've got a nice little sear on there.
Yeah, it looks really gentle though.
Really gentle, not overcooked.
And also this is so hot now. This is pushing out heat.
Yeah, so that'll continue to actually cook for a little minute, won't it?
So that's going to keep going. So that's what we're doing now, resting that. And then I know that's around about. I normally take deer off at around 45 degrees.
Okay.
That's because it's so lean. I keep saying. You want to eat really, really pink, really soft meat, and it's a really nice way of doing it. Like I keep saying about hard cooking on that meat would be make it really dry. Yeah. This is not going to be dry.
No. And I can actually smell the smoke off of this as well from that vine that you've put in there. So that's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, this is a celeriac here.
Okay.
So we cook them in foil in the and what happens is we let them rest with the residual heat again in the foil, and that steam goes all the way through. Then they get crushed. Okay. We add a little bit of brown butter, which is beurre noisette in French cooking. Yeah. So you've got a real nice colour and depth of flavour. Yeah. A little bit of salt in there, and that's it. Really simple, really, really simple.
But again, we're letting the food do the talking here, aren't we? Really.
Also, this vegetable is grown about 2 minutes that way.
Right.
So the adjacent farms are really well known for like veg production around here. Yeah. So on site we don't grow much veg, but next door grow like some of the most amazing. And with celeriac you need a lot of space. Yeah. So for a celeriac to be that size, you need acres and acres of land. That's why they're so expensive. Right. That's why it's a premium thing. So actually, just looking like it's a bowl of celeriac, it's not. There's way more than that.
There's a lot more to it to get to that point. Yeah.
And I've always because since we've been at Westlands, we've got more of a family style of eating, so like shared tables. People have started to get to know each other, even if they don't know each other next to them. And we had this like sharing style main course.
Okay, it's quite nice, isn't it? Because it gets people to socialise and share, and that's really one of the most important things with food is actually sharing good food with family and friends and people, like you say, it's a good way of getting to know people, isn't it?
For my thing, it's like, and the high end especially gets lost because everyone's trying to like play it up real small, refine, and like you get lost. When you're at home, you never eat like that.
No.
You put it in the middle of the table and you all get stuck in. So what we do is take that element and refine that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we got to what we do here. Yeah. So celeriac, this is a little oil made from lovage, which is this herb.
Yeah.
Similar flavour profile to celeriac, like celery and parsley mixture.
Yeah.
So we basically finish it with the
Make
oil.
a nice oil with that.
So that's the lovage oil, cooked in lovage and parsley cooked into some oil.
Yep.
And then obviously we're going to garnish with some of the leaves. So this is exactly what's on the menu on the main courses at the moment. So like the celeriac's been cooked in the Invoq. It's about 2 to 3 hours.
And that's just enough time, like we said, to break that down. And
that's what we'll always do. We'll always look at something, highlight how we want to cook it, what we want to get out of it, and then choose the best method of cooking it. Obviously, cooking meat.
So really choosing the right bit of equipment is actually key for what you want to do at the end of, isn't it? Absolutely.
That's what helps us and enables us to unlock the best of it.
Yeah.
This is a glaze, so we don't actually serve a heavy brown sauce for this meat.
Okay.
Like a wintry sort of gravy. This is a glaze made of beetroot juice.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of our own miso that we make out of dry broad beans.
Yes.
And some local honey to Evesham.
Yeah.
And we just glaze it while it's resting, saturate it, and then what you can do as well with that is we leave it above the Josper where it's warm like that.
Yeah.
So it's still keeping warm, but it's resting, and that's what this is quite good for, like
the resting shell.
The resting shell is really helpful for that as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously to serve, we'd stick a plate down for each customer.
Yep.
The deer's going to go in the middle. And then there's like an old school thing where you'd like stick a bit of rosemary in a bone.
Absolutely.
We use the wood sole.
Okay,
yeah,
wonderful.
Into the bone marrow. And then that'd be like for 2 people to share. So they get a steak knife and do a bit of carving, take off what they want, help themselves a bit of that, and then make their own main course, but refined.
Yeah.
With
very nice, chef. Yeah, it looks really good. Really good indeed.
And then obviously, the glaze, you never want to waste that. I want to get
well. Pop a little bit more of that on there as well.
Bit of action shot as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's really
That's it. Lovely. Red deer from the Cotswolds, celeriacs with lovage, and Western salads with wood sorrel and blackcurrant vinaigrette.
Absolutely wonderful. That's great. Thank you very much.
With this, like obviously they're there to share. We normally follow down the bones. You can take the loin off clean there.
Yeah.
And then obviously you got to fill it off there.
Let's just have a little bit of a look down here a minute. Got to try and this going in with that.
And obviously the game meat really likes a bit of sweet. So like the honey and the beetroot really help.
No, it's really nice. No, it's very nice indeed. Yeah, yeah. Chef, I'm going to go and try this. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think the celeriac's a bit of a star from the quality of it, and
that is absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
Obviously the combination's really good as well.
Absolutely wonderful.
Like
Chef, that's absolutely. That is really nice. Really nice. Thank you very much.